Instagram, World Cup dad, also known as Zach Duke, started playing soccer just 3 years ago and immediately set a goal of trying to make a World Cup roster. Now, there's no chance that an adult can just pick up a sport and go pro, right? Well, since that time, Duke has played at TST, in Brazil, and in the MASL, among other places. And to help tell the story of World Cup dad, we're happy to welcome to Morning Footy, Zach Duke himself. Zach, welcome to the show, making your Morning Footy debut. Thank you so much for joining us. We just got to see a little bit and hear a little bit about your story and your background and how you have started this journey. But why did you start this journey?
Yes, first, thank you for welcoming me on. And it's a crazy story. The long story short is the end of 2022, I'm 30 pounds overweight, have horrible habits, and I don't feel good about myself as a father and as a husband. I'm sitting in this coffee shop and listening to this podcast about where are the dads that push themselves to the extremes, mentally, physically, emotionally. I'm like, man, I am not that dad. And so as I was there, I'm a man of faith. I just started praying, and I just had this drop in my spirit of pick the hardest challenge possible to push you to the edge. And I had never played soccer before, and so I just felt like I was compelled to go after soccer at the highest level. And so I started that day pushing as hard as I can, waking up at 4 a.m., working on my habits and disciplines, and I just never quit. Consistency is the real superpower.
Hold up, Zach, hold up. You never kicked a soccer ball in your life before that?
No, I mean, besides like a gym class maybe in high school, but no, I'd never played soccer.
Okay,
I played American football.
How did this soccer epiphany, like why soccer specifically?
Yeah, I didn't want to play football anymore. Too many concussions. I was a slot wide receiver, too short and old for basketball, too old for soccer for that matter. But I was never able to play growing up, and I was going to South Asia that next month when I had that epiphany, and I realized, man, soccer is a global sport. You have relationships across the world. It has access to bring community transformation, which is my full-time job of developing leaders. Like there's no better way to have access to global relationships than the sport of soccer. And so like that really is what cemented it for me is I wanted to be able to influence and transform as many people as possible through the beautiful game.
So Zach, when you pick up a ball for the first time, clearly you have an aspiration of doing something, whether it's just getting fit or just getting acclimated or loving a new sport. Ooh. When you the first day and you start kicking a soccer ball, what comes to mind? Is it like, ish, this is a little harder than I thought it was going to be?
It's pretty impressive.
100%. I thought, what did I just get myself into? This is insanely hard. I can't even do a toe tap on the ball. And so I'm just like, this is going to be a way bigger uphill battle than I thought. I was never naive thinking I was going to be good. There was no arrogance that I'm going to be great about it. Like I knew it was going to be hard. And I had immediate respect for the people that put in the decades of work for the sport. Like it is the most challenging thing I've ever done.
So once you pick this up, you get into it a little bit, you're getting more fit. You now are playing though. You've played at TST, you're playing in leagues. How did that come about? Did you call these teams and say, hey, I can now kick a ball? How did that come about?
That's the craziest thing, I think, is this entire journey, I've reached out to nobody. I've reached out to no coaches. I've reached out to no teams. I've reached out to no brands. Every door that's opened has been purely organic. And to me, that's amazing, just the soccer community that really rallies behind people with a dream and work ethic. And it's crazy. Every step along the way has been scary. When I played the first co-ed league, I was petrified. When I played the first amateur league, I was terrified. When I went to Brazil, I was shaking in my boots. But one thing I will not do is quit.
Okay, hold up. But you've opened a lot of doors, but your handle is World Cup Dad, which I imagine is an end goal of yours to go to the World Cup. So we need to open the Mauricio Pochettino door to the U.S. men's national team. Convince me right now. I mean, this show often is on at U.S. Soccer, and they might be watching right now, Zach. So give me your pitch on why you should not you got to make a couple of camps before the World Cup. Why should you be in camp in June?
For me, I would say one, I think the coaches are going to make by far the best decisions to have the squad that's ready to win and compete in the World Cup. And so I know that they're going to pick the very best that are going to compete, and I trust them with that job. Now, if I were to be on the team, my pitch would be this. If you want an entire team to believe in themselves, if you want to bring out the best in every player, if you want leadership in the locker room, if you want morale to be high, that's what I bring. Like whether I play or not, I don't know, but I can guarantee you this. I will, just by the nature of how I've been created, my identity, I will make sure that everyone on the team is playing their best, is bringing their best, has high morale and believes in themselves. That's just everywhere I've gone. That's the gift that I bring, is helping to bring the absolute best, to squeeze every ounce of juice out of any program, any team, any player. And that's what I've consistently brought to every team I've been throughout my life.
Zach, what position do you play?
Striker.
Striker. All right, so at the World Cup, we can only take 3 strikers. Between you, Ricardo Pepi, Balogun, and Josh Sargent, who you cutting to make the World Cup squad?
I'm not cutting any of them. Those guys are absolute legends. I'll leave that in the coach's hands.
We have 8
and if I'm
strikers
able to
on the
make the
roster.
spot, then I'll do it. I can't make that call. It's above my pay grade.
So Zach, what's like the end goal for you? Obviously, you've grown and you have this affinity for the sport, right? And it seems like you love the sport. But what's the end game? Because for most of us who played before, the end game is golf. Right? Like that's what we do. We golf. Or you watch your kids play. Like where are you at with this?
Yeah, I'll say 2 things. One, after the World Cup, one thing I want to do is to continue to play at the highest levels possible as long as my body would allow. The second thing, and this has been my passion from the beginning, I want to be just one more voice out of many amazing people in this country that create access in a pay-to-play country. How can we break those barriers? And so I've already done this with one of the greatest soccer apps out there called Street to Stadium. We're creating a foundation that's going to be partnering with municipalities to give underprivileged kids free access to the top training in all of sports from the top players around the world that we've already filmed. And so for me, that's the long-term goal, is how can we partner with municipalities to create access to have the top tier training in the world with kids and cities and these players. And so to me, that would be the dream of helping provide that access.
Well done.
Hey, Zach, quick question. Were you on that Indiana team that knocked out Concafa, my team, in the quarterfinals of TSC?
Your team. Yes, I was on that team. I was on that team.
Okay, we're hoping it's going to be a different story this year. But okay, now this is all coming back to me now.
Oh, man. Well, who knows? Maybe you guys will match up again in TST this year. Are you going back again, Zach, this year?
I'll be there.
Do you have a team yet? Do you have a team?
See you there, Zach. I'll see you there, my friend.
Let's go. Awesome.
I can't wait for that. So, Zach, we got to see some of your skills, which are far more impressive than, I'll just say me, far more impressive than my skills. So, we're going to show you some of the skills of some of the talent at the Golazo Network. Here's mine.
Okay.
I want you to give me a rating. Let's go.
I see you.
Rating and left.
A little bit of a rating here.
10. Well,
How's that? If it's anything less than 10 out of 10, I'm kicking you off of the show. So
10 out of 10. It's
Love
consistent touch right there. Consistent.
love it. Next,
same video.
That was impressive, Claudia.
Hey, that was like 20 takes. So how about Nico, though? Nico did this on just his first take.
Oh, disaster.
Look at that.
Look at the shoelaces untied, keeps going.
Oh, bad touch. I'm a goalkeeper, Zach, so give me a curve.
Hey, but doing that in studio, in your studio outfit, I mean, that's just pure right there. That is pure.
Claudia was in a skirt.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't sure. That was,
even more
that was
impressive.
the worst time. All right, we have one more. He's not
Let's
here,
go.
but our guy, Mike Grella.
Please don't give this above a 5 or else we're going to hear it, please, forever.
I mean, that balance is impressive. I'll say that. It's the same clip over and over again. I'm hungry for more. I want to see more.
Yeah, Nico, I think yours was a little bit more impressive because you kept going.
No,
you put it back
not
in your
more
head.
impressive than Grella.
One trick pony is Grella.
Grella scored, what was it, the Worldie against Ederson that he doesn't shut up about?
And the Worldie in TST last year.
Yeah.
Was that Concafa? That was
That was
the team you were coaching?
Pat McAfee to Grella, and Mike LaHood, who was announcing it, announced it as Breck Shea. So we had everything going in that play.
Is he the one that hit the absolute golazo?
Yeah.
That was him.
Best shot of the tournament. I give him his props.
It was absolutely incredible. Well, Zach, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best in all of this. I'm sure you and Tony will link up at TST this summer, so thank you so much.